We're going to talk about spark plugs. The spark plug has an arm on it. Most spark plugs does. These spark plugs, whether it's brand new, if you're running an engine and you can't get it to run on hydrogen, and you take it out and you see that it's dry, you put it back in, you don't have any luck, well, guess what? These plugs suck. They don't work. Don't use them. If you're going to play with hydrogen, do not use these plugs. Put this plug in. This plug will work. It will surprise you. It will work when that one won't. I've tested it. I've ran engines on water, well, hydrogen from water with this plug. I've tried to use those plugs. I've had no luck with those plugs. And this is not the only plug. I've tried several plugs. Any plug with an arm on it, don't use it with hydrogen. It's a no-no. Do not do it. Don't do it. This is the plug you want to use. This came out of my boat. I don't know if it's for a boat, but for some reason or another, hydrogen, it loves these plugs. It runs almost every time on these plugs. And like I say, you can take this plug out and switch it with that one. It won't do nothing. You put this one back in there, and it shows really good results with this plug. This plug is part number BUHW-2, which is B as in boy, U as in umbrella, H as in Harry, W as in woman, minus the number 2. Use these plugs. If you're going to experiment with hydrogen, don't use these. It's a no-no. They don't work. These work perfect. There's something about them that hydrogen loves. On my spark plug circuit, each one of these diodes is 1,000 volts. I bought 200 of them off of eBay. They're 1N5408, I believe. They're 1,000 volts, 3 amps. I have 4 diodes on each step. So that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 amps. And I have 20 of them. So this is 20,000 volts by 12 amps. What we want to do is we would like to charge a capacitor like this one. I'm not going to hook this up, so I'm just going to give you a general idea. You would hook, say, one lead here to your capacitor, and this lead here would go to the ground side of your engine block. Now, this is a schematic I have online on the ionization website. The schematic is called a 2-wire mod. You can put, and the 2 wires is 1 wire coming off of here going directly to your spark plug tip, that tip there, and the other wire would be going to the ground of the engine block, and that's the only mod you have with this design. You charge your capacitor up to hold a high current that discharges through your diodes, and a lot of the times it blows your diodes up. And I like using a bridge rectifier, and when something bad happens, your bridge gets blowed up and your diodes get blowed up. So what I do to prevent getting in my pocketbook and wasting my time, I use this fuel cell, which consumes an amp to 1.5 amps. I put this in series with a bridge rectifier, which charges the capacitor. And when this dead shorts through the plug, or however it wants to dead short, or when the capacitor comes fully dead drained, the only bad thing that's going to happen is I'm going to produce hydrogen. Anything that consumes around 1 amp or 1.5 amps, you could replace with this condenser. This is a condenser. It was invented by Nikola Tesla. He used oil-filled condensers. It's not just a fuel cell. You could use a headlight off of a car. They pull around 2 amps. You don't have to use a condenser. You could use anything that pulls around 1 or 1.5 amps. So when you have a dead short on this side, it could light a light, or in my case, produce hydrogen. And these chokes, they don't always work. I'm not going to trust that choke against these diodes in my bridge. So if you put you an 1.5 amp load between your bridge and the charging of the capacitor, every time you have a short, you will either light a light bulb, and if the short remains to stay shorted, the light bulb will remain lit, or you continue to produce hydrogen. You fix the short, and you get what I'm saying. But we've proved that the hotter the spark in the engine, the less volatile the ignition of the gas, no matter the gas used. It could be propane. There comes a time to where I shot a video on this on the internet, or YouTube, I believe, showing where you can look for that under my account. The hotter the spark, the less volatile the compression stroke, and the weaker it gets. So if you want to completely kill the engine, just turn the spark wide open. I believe the explosion takes all the oxygen out of the mixture and it completely kills it, so it cannot combust. If you turn it down to a very weak spark, it'll run very good. If you turn it midways, it will kind of slow the engine. So the hotter the spark, the less volatile the combustion stroke. And this circuit here that makes the spark plug spark louder and spark with a bang, it's bullcrap. It's not, my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I don't think it's going to be any good use to this hydrogen technology. In fact, I think it does more harm than good. I've ran an engine already without this setup, and I've heard it run, so I don't see any reason why we would need a hotter spark. I'm going to end this video here, so there you go. I hope I help someone out there. Just go ahead and try the difference between these two plugs here, and you'll see that this one will work better. And you may be even amazed that the only reason you couldn't get your engine to run because you was using the wrong plug. And I was amazed when it ran with this one and it wouldn't run with that one. And I tried several of these before I ever tried this one. And when I put this one in there, it was amazing. I have a few of these out of my boat, and every one of them runs the engine. And every plug like this that I've ever put in there, it doesn't do anything. So there you go.